Hey everybody, welcome back to Coffee with Mikey. And today I'm actually eating sushi and fried rice. And then I have this coconut water with watermelon. I don't quite like the watermelon part of it, but the regular coconut water is pretty good. And I can sleep. It's 5 a.m. I try to go to sleep for a couple hours and I've had like a personal loss lately and I'm very hurt by it. I don't want to hold it together, but it just seems like the more I think about it, the more it hurts me, and I know I need to process. And the grieving process is not always easy. It's not clean, and I can't just do like this, 8, 12 step program and just automatically feel better, right? It's one of those things that I have to sit down and like feel my feelings and process my emotions and not ruminate all the things I've been like trained to do over these years. I've done like tons of 8 week training courses. I've done I'm in a master's program now, and in that master's program, in context, right? One of the professors says it takes about 40 hours of like concentrated work to process grief, right? To the grief process, whether that takes, you know, yeah, uh, whether that takes 4 months or 40 years, it's up to you. So I think it is something that I've been doing with my life about going back and addressing unfinished business, understanding my emotions and not overproducing. Sometimes I get really cerebral and like try to like over explain or justify things that happen to me. And sometimes like bad things happen, right? And this is one of the things that was really unexpected for me. And it really, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. I know I'm hurt, I'm sad, right? The 5 emotions we look for are um, anger, hurt, sadness, joy, and there's one more. I'm always like fear, right? You know, I shared I shared with my friend group, about this, and I kind of fear. I have this fear of not living well, right? And being unremembered, maybe. When I say that out loud, it's not as painful, but like not having an impact. And I want to live in such a way that if others spoke poorly of me, nobody would believe them, right? Like that's one of the things. That's one of the things I live by. The statements I live by. Live in such a way if someone spoke poorly of you, no one would believe them. And I've been doing that for the past decade. It was my Facebook banner for a while, and it was because I had a bad breakup. I had a bad breakup, and it just wasn't great. And I was like, oh, people are saying all these bad things about me, whether like she spread those rumors or not, whatever, people are gonna make their own opinion about things. Like, I'm just gonna live in such a way that if somebody spoke poorly of me, nobody would believe it. And that's where I'm at in my life now, you know. Um, and I want to live well. The best revenge is living well, right? Massive success, living well. Johnny Rods will say that. Best revenge. I don't know if he still says that, but I've heard him say it in the past. And I do live well, right? I eat great. I'm a little too rich, right? If you're my friend, because we have like the welcome parties and stuff like that. Um, it's not like too crazy, right? But we do hang out. We do things that are fun, right? Like I just have like a bucket list life, really. And I want to do things in my life that are fulfilling. Like I want to live experiences that I'm called to do, right? Like sometimes skydiving, sometimes it's scuba diving, sometimes it's free diving with sharks, no cage, and that was wild. Um, and sometimes it's spending quality time. I mean, I'm a quality time person, so sometimes it's just sitting down with your friends and watching a movie together and enjoying the experience together and like watching anime. It's something I haven't done in a long time. I haven't had like a watch party at my house. The last time I had a watch party was with my classmates, and we watched Groundhog's Day for one of our classes. And it was, oh, I forget what class it was, but I think it was like It was more like an emotional intelligence class. I can't remember the name of the class specifically. I will look it up real quick because it was really good. We had a good instructor, and like so I'd never seen the whole movie Groundhog's Day, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch, and experience that like watching it with my friends, with my peers, um, and uh, communication skills for managers. That's what it was. So we had a really interesting professor. He lives on the other side of the world, and he was logging in at like 2 in the morning to teach us, which is great on his part, or whatever the time difference is for him. I don't remember specifically. He's actually one of our professors in this course that we're doing now on negotiation. So he is a environmental lawyer, I think, and our other professor is she's also a trained lawyer. Excuse me. And she also teaches a master's in conflict resolution. And I'm in the master's for leadership and coaching, and our main focus has been coaching and leadership. And like for the first like semester, I felt like I was getting a psychology degree. We are talking about all these different psychologists. We talked about like the different styles. We talked about family dynamics. We talked about birth order. We talked about just understanding ourselves and where we're at with feelings. And I think that's why we want to put the point of like having what your feelings are and how to be okay with yourself when you're in session with somebody, when you're coaching somebody. And I think it's made me a better leader because I just don't angry people, right? I don't get angry at situations. I say, okay, this is a data point, right? Then, and I understand that this is a data point, and I try to be objective about it as much as possible so I can bring out the best in other people, um, without painting or manipulating the situation in any sort of favor, right? Like in the style of coaching that we do, it's emergence coaching. So you co-voyage with somebody, and you're a thinking partner to help them, um, you know, figure out their answer, right? Because the the assumption is that the person knows what they need, and they know the right answer. It's co-voyaging with them to get to that point where, I interviewed at this company a long time ago, and this director was really cool and I wanted to work with them. I ended up not getting the job because I always ask for a lot of money, and I don't think they're willing to do that for me. But I also bombed the technical interview. So I'm like not great at technical interviews, not in person. And this is a remote job. So, but the conversation director was fantastic, right? And he was like, I will walk with people down that path. And he would use that term like walk with them, and like in this coaching style, um, I walk with them and co-voyage with them, and we explore these things, these paths that we go down. So it's nice. It's nice to do. Um, so right now I'm suffering pretty hard. I'm suffering pretty hard this loss, and I've cried a little bit. I've been really sad. I've been really angry. Um, I've been fearful. I've been hurt, I've been very, very hurt, and and I found joy in moments where like, oh, I remember this person. We had a good time, and I think about like, oh, this time a couple years ago we had dinner and we met up, and we've been trying to do it over and over again, or trying to like meet up and hang out and stuff like that, and it just happened, and now that person is gone, and I just want to honor the memory by living well, and that's what I would want when I pass. Like, I don't want people to suffer. I want my friends and family to know they were loved, and show up to be the best version of themselves. That's what I would want. I would want. Um, I want people to know that I love them. I want my friends to know that I want the best for them, and shine bright, shine brighter. Do your best. Show up, do your best, and that's all we can really ask. There's a quote by Robert E. Lee. I think I read in a quote book one time that's do your duty in all things. You cannot do more. You should never wish to do less. And that's one of the, my, I feel like my duty in this phase of my life is to show up for people um, to the best of my ability, and, show up as the best version of myself and shine bright so other people can see the example and shine bright themselves and like just live authentically and unabashedly. Which leads to like sometimes awkward situations, and some people like, oh, it's it's cringe to be authentic to yourself, right? Or just, enjoying your time together. And to that I say, you're either cringe with me or cringe against me. I saw that in a meme. I thought that was the funniest thing. But I'm older now, and I don't care what other people think. That level of freedom, that like, oh, I don't need your approval, has been something that like, oh wow, I'm free to be me. Oh my God, it's crazy. But yeah, that's the lesson, right? Live in such a way that if anybody spoke poorly of you, nobody believe them. And that's the whole reason I started recording, because I was like, oh, that's the point I want to get across. That's something that I want to pass down to my family, um, when I'm gone, right? Uh, and I just want to set people up for success, and that's the lesson I have. But yeah, I mean, I'm not in a bad place in my life. I'm actually in a really good place in my life. I'm relatively healthy, right? I can stand a little bit of extra weight to put on over the years. And I am gonna start walking more and eating more aligned to, you know, my future, so I can be healthy and mobile and you know, not suffer unnecessarily. So that's where I'm working on. I plan to live for a very long time. I plan to get married, have kids, and raise a family, and uh, be a better parent. I even hesitate to say this because I had really good parents, but I'd be a better parent than what I had. So like I think that um, successfully successively every generation has the opportunity to do better. And my parents did really well on my behalf. I've gotten compliments from strangers. Funny story. Like I flew up to DC for my friend's graduation. I stayed at a hotel up there. And this like older Asian lady, I'm assuming she was Korean. She may not have been. I didn't really tell, but she was like the person who ran the hotel, the front desk, and maybe she owned the hotel. I don't know, right? And she said, "Your parents did a good job," and I was like, I didn't realize I needed to hear that, but thank you." And at that point, my parents had been gone for, oh, this is what, 2019, 20, no, 2018, 2019, something like that. And, my parents passed away in 2013. So they've been like, gone for 4 or 5 years at this point. I was like, they did good. They did do a good job, right? Like, I, I don't want to say I couldn't have asked for better parents, but like they did a good job. Like, I got to the age of reason. Um, I am, supposedly sound in body and mind. But yeah, I was like 24, 25 in the past. So it's been like 10, 12 years, something like that. And, we as a family have moved forward with our lives, right? I don't want to say move on, but we move forward, right? And we take the lessons that are passed down to us um, forward, and I can, improve and refine upon those lessons and pass it down to the people in my life, right? Even if I don't end up, getting married or having children, whatever, right? I still have family members that can pass these lessons on. I mean, the whole reason I record these talks is to, hey, this is, the wisdom that's been passed down to me in stories and things like that. And I feel like I get better at storytelling. Every time I do one of these things, I get better at editing videos, even though like pretty much don't edit videos. Not right now, right? Maybe we'll get an editor and they'll go back and like edit all these videos and find these like nuggets of gold that could help somebody someday. Um, but it's also very therapeutic for me to verbally process and get this out. And it's very vulnerable for me to tell these stories for the whole internet. So, but also it inoculates me from the criticism. It inoculates me from like the fear of showing up and speaking, um, speaking the truth, right? How I feel at this time, right? Like I'm not at risk of hurting myself or other people, right? I'm just really sad because my friend is gone, and I want to talk about it. I mean, there are plenty of people I've talked to about it before, but like, I'm still just very sad and I couldn't sleep. And I, I shared a video about like the report that happened, and I just went through all the comments and like I doom scrolled, right? Guilty of doing that every so often. And I was like, man, the reason that it came up is, if anybody spoke poorly of you, um, like live in such a way, if anybody spoke poorly of you, nobody believed them, is that I was reading the comments, I was like, overwhelmingly so, right? There are positive comments and things like that. And of course there's like one or two random people there, are just spouting off nonsense. So um just, lead by example. Live well, live well, do good unto others, right? There's the golden rule, right? Treat others as you'd like to be treated, and there's the platinum rule. Treat others as they would like to be treated. And that's something I told to one of our sales guys of the company one time, and then this year he went up and like had a big like talk, and he used that. And I was like, uh-huh, free game, buddy. That's right. And he didn't give me credit for it, which is, of course, it is what it is. But and I didn't say it to get credit for it. I said it because like that's the truth, right? That's just something that has always served me, right? Once I understand how to treat somebody, I'll treat them that way. But I mean, I do start out the baseline of the golden rule, right? Like I'm not overly disrespectful. I do tease sometimes, but I'm not like mean spirited or malicious. I'm just like, oh, that's funny. And some people like being teased, right? So it's one of those things as you get to know somebody, um, you learn how to appropriately treat them. And but I have I having really high self-esteem can take a joke for the most part. Sometimes it's set a boundary, right? Like sometimes I have to set the boundary. It's like, don't do that. But for the most part, it's, it's funny. And being in the military, we had really dark humor sometimes. I was really sarcastic for a long time, and I picked that up from somebody. I picked up like really bad, self-deprecating, sarcastic, dark humor, and I had to recondition myself. And I was like, oh, I was just making myself more miserable. So I reconditioned myself to just laugh and enjoy life. And having really lighthearted humor. Like, I mean, like I don't watch scary or horror movies anymore. They don't make me feel good. And then like I want to argue with the movie, like, hey, get up, punch that motherfucker in the face. And that's me, And I generally don't enjoy. I genuinely do not enjoy them because the the fight or flight response in me just gets it just the cortisol just stays in my system, I guess, and I just like don't like it. And then sometimes I get like not nightmares but night terrors where like I wake up and I can't move, right? And it's like that's really scary to me. So like I think it's the I don't really know how to explain it, to be honest with you. In our culture we call it which I think means like go sitting on your chest or something like that. And like but like night terrors are crazy, right? Like it's hard to explain to people who've never had them. Um but yeah, it's a real thing. And I don't invite that kind of situation into my life, right? Just like I don't invite, negative energy, right? I don't invite people who are mean spirited and malicious into my life. Once I see that, I don't cut people off, right? But I was like, oh, I'm gonna, withdraw, right? I'm not going to um, put myself in situations to be bullied or, be talked down to, or, even sometimes be ripped a little bit. Like it's fine to be ripped a little bit. I was like, all right, man, a little bit. Like we got stuff to do. There's more to life. So, and I found that path. So I like really like humor, or comedic things. I like to laugh. And I like to enjoy the experience. Right. I'm not one of those people who likes to be miserable. Um, and misery loves company. But I mean, so does joy. Joy loves company. I love sharing joy with people. I love randomly laughing at my own jokes. I love just like showing up and spreading joy, right? Like one of the guys in my mastermind group, he likes to call me like the joyful Buddha. It's not because I'm Asian or chunky, right? Like, and this was explained to me by one of my teachers who did a lot of yoga and meditation. She was my Spanish teacher, and she said like Buddha actually wasn't fat, right? Having the bigger body type and like in the depictions is a sign of his enlightenment. That's a repetition of his enlightenment because he did yoga and um he had offerings, right? So it wasn't do yoga all the time in offerings, right? So I learned this during yoga teacher training. The purpose of the physical practice of yoga, which is the sadhana practice, is to calm your body to a point where you can seek inward. That's why the final resting pose is the corpse pose, where you stay still and you can go inward to find the answers in there, right? That's how it was explained to me. And I've had those experiences where I just come out of that, kind of come out of that as euphoric, right? Like I found the answers in me, and I should probably practice yoga more now that my back is a little better. Um, if I can move without pain for the most part. Um, some days are not always the best days, but I'm doing my best to stay physically well. But yeah, this went on a little longer than I thought it would. Thought I was gonna, I don't know. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better articulating this. I feel happier. Like I'm finding joy in speaking about this. I'm finding joy in remembering the great parts of spending time with my friends and my friend that's passed on. And I'm gonna live well. I'm gonna continue to live well. I'm gonna continue to show up for my people, and I'm gonna be the example that I wish I had growing up. Not that I had bad examples, but like everybody is uniquely themselves, and I'm going to continue to be the person that is uniquely me. All right, well, and there's Athena. She's a little blurry because of the camera blur, but Hercules is also on the big bag, and Biggie's in the other room. So the puppers are all here. We're doing well, and then that's it. All right, love you. Take care. All right. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Be well.